Hey, you guys, Agent B here. We're in downtown Fullerton right now. I'm actually back in my office this week. And yes, I have my mask here if anybody walks in the door, but we're pretty much dead empty. When I came in last week and the last couple of weeks, it's been extremely slow. Maybe one other realtor coming in. Most people are working from home, which I'm doing as well. But with everyone home right now, including my wife, I need some time to be here because we need to get back on the phones and call people and see if they need any help, because that's what we're doing. But people have been asking me, I get calls over and over and over, and I mean, you may be one of them that's calling me, but I'm getting a lot of calls from people asking me, what's going to happen with the real estate market. And sorry, my gimbal is freaking out, so I'm a little tilted here. See if I can fix it. I don't know. Nope, can't fix it. So, but people have been asking me over and over, what's going to happen with the real estate market? Are we crashing? What's the deal? And actually, I just read an article the other day. They're saying that they're expecting possibly, if everything continues going the way it is, that there could be 3 million foreclosures coming up this summer. And why is that possible? How is that even possible to get 3 million foreclosures? Well, really, we were talking before like, oh, that's not going to happen. V-shaped recovery, all this other stuff, which maybe isn't completely realistic. But, how can we, this is driving me crazy, you guys, sorry. How can we stop all these foreclosures from happening? Well, what's happening is, remember that right now the government has basically put a stop on foreclosures, evictions, those type of things, and they're allowing people to miss 1, 2, or 3 of their mortgage payments, and they're not missing them. And that's the thing that people need to understand, is just because they're getting a check in the mail or something like that, they need to be smart with those things. And when they're missing those payments, instead of deferring the payments like a lot of lenders used to do, they would defer the payments, maybe add them to the end of your 360 payments or whatever it was you had. They are doing what's called forbearance, and the forbearance is what it does is it basically takes those payments and it's going to make those payments basically stop and then start back up immediately. And it could be like this. So let's say, and I've explained this before, let's say you're missing 2 payments. So you're missing April and May, and a record number of people have missed their April mortgage payment. And whether they've called their lender to make sure it's okay to do that, or they've just done it, a record number of people have done that so far. So it's pretty scary. But remember, so let's say you're missing April and May, and then you're going to make your June payment. Well, the forbearance, and you have to check with your lender on this again, but in most cases, when you make that June payment, your April and May payments are also due. So if you're paying regular $2,000 a month, let's say, on a mortgage, June, your payment's going to be $6,000. Okay, so that is where the scary part is. And what's going on right now is that if you look at, I'll post this on my Wednesday email that I send out. But what's happening right now is, if you see the curve as far as home prices and affordability and what people can afford, there's a big difference there now compared to 2008, where it was just like this. It was so tight. It was like the prices of homes and what people can afford was like almost exact or a little upside down, where now the prices of homes are still here. They are up, but what people can afford are like above the camera. So there's a big gap there on what people have availability to spend. And so what I've been talking to people about, and because I get a lot of calls, I keep talking about this over and over again, is I get a lot of calls from people. Sorry, I walk while I talk. It keeps me moving. But what I've been telling people is that, not that I want to list their house. I mean, of course, I'm a real estate agent, and that's what we do. We help people buy and sell homes, but just to make the best decision possible. So you have people right now, the difference between now and 2008 as well, is that people have more equity in their homes now than they had in 2008, because they're getting these 0-interest loans, all this crazy stuff going on back then. And so people didn't have the equity in their houses when the market crashed and they lost their homes. What's happening now is that people have equity in their homes. A lot more people do. And so I'm kind of giving the advice is, if you have equity in your house and unfortunately you've lost your job, like so many people have, and you're now at the point to where you're going to skip mortgage payments, number one, make sure you're talking to your lender to figure that out and how that exactly works. Don't just do it skip your payments and think it's going to be okay, because it's going to screw your credit. So you want to make sure that you've talked to your lender about it, because a lot of times with the forbearance, they won't report that to the tax or the credit bureaus, and so it doesn't affect your credit. So that's the number one thing you got to do. Number two, if you have a lot of equity in your house and you're thinking, hey, I don't know what's going to be happening in June and July, then maybe now's the time, honestly, to think about maybe I should be selling my home and taking that money out and then seeing what happens. Because if you don't have a job right now and you don't think if you don't think you're going to have a job in a few months from now, even though everyone's looking, but with 26 million people out of work, that's a lot of people looking for a job right now. So if you think you have the cash in your house or the equity in your house, go ahead, let's get that thing listed. And of course, if it's with me, I'd be more than happy to help you and get you the most out of it. And if you ask people, I will do that, absolutely. We'll figure out the best way to do that and the best strategy to do that. We're doing it already. I've sold, I've done about 8 deals this year, and just like 3 or 4 in the last couple of weeks we've closed. So, and all of them at great prices for those sellers to make sure they get the most out of the house. So, but it might be a time to think about that seriously, and how's this going to affect your future credit, your future buying power, whatever you're going to need in the future. And if you do have the opportunity to do that, you might take that money out of there by selling your home, downsizing, or maybe renting for a while, and using some of that and holding on to that cash. And be careful of the market. I can't give you advice on the stock market because it's hammered everybody. But now may be a time to do that. And then in the summertime, they're talking about this potential for 3 million foreclosures. What's going to happen, or could happen, is that those people that are now in that forbearance that missed April and are going to miss May, and if they're able to miss a third month, miss June, come July, if those people were waiting to sell, and now they're thinking, man, now I have to sell, they're going to be right there probably with the other 85-90% of the people that didn't listen to Agent B, and now they're all trying to sell at the same time, and suddenly here goes the prices of homes, and we need to have demand. And if all these buyers or all these sellers are getting out of the market, they're not buyers anymore. And so now that is what would cause a recession in the real estate market. So my tip today for you guys, and we're just starting out our week, but if you are in a situation where you have started the forbearance process and you are looking, but maybe the job market you're in is not thriving right now, or it's one of these ones that could be really impacted going forward, not just immediately, but going forward, it might be a time to think about that listing and getting that equity out and holding on to it and getting into a rental. People are moving in with relatives, whatever it is, but doing the best for you so that you're set up, 12 or 18 months from now when this thing recovers, hopefully, and we're ready to go again. And maybe by then prices may be better. I don't know. So just trying to give some advice on my side. Of course, like I said, I would love to list your home, but if you just want to ask me about questions or ask me questions, I'd be more than happy to give you my advice on what I think and what I think is going on. Of course, it's just, we're all predicting things right now. We don't know what's correct, but this is what I'm seeing and what I'm reading and who I'm talking to right now. This is kind of what people are thinking. So, if you need anything at all, you guys, I know I think we're Monday. Yeah, we're on Monday. So that's why I'm back in my office. You can see the RE/MAX logo out there, and a couple of those on the window are my listings that have closed. So we got to get those down and get some new ones up. But start thinking about it. Remember, a couple things just to recap real quick. So number one, make sure if you are having issues with making your mortgage payment, call your lender. Number one, find out the process. Is it deferral or is it forbearance, and what they need to do and what they're going to do to help you to make sure it doesn't ding your credit. Number two, start looking at long term here. Is it something where you're just going to be out of work for a little bit, you've been furloughed but they're bringing you back, or is it something that's going to be more long term, and how will that affect you? If it does, number three, let's make that decision whether you want to pull that equity out by listing that house. If you're able to refi right now, without a job, that'd be pretty amazing. But if you're not, listing may be the way to go here and do the best to help you do that. And And then looking forward past that, what's your long-term strategy, whether it's talking to your financial advisor or your real estate agent or someone, to help you put a plan together. Definitely, you need to make sure you do that as well. I mean, this is a time right now, we sat down with my own kids and let them know this is a time right now where people really have to start being smart. People need to really think about, long-term, no longer short-term anymore. This is a long-term type of thing. This is going to cause a lot of pain to a lot of people, and so we need to make sure that we're prepared for that, okay? So I just want to give you my thoughts this morning, you guys. If you need anything at all, DM me down there or reach out to me. My text, my email, brian@agentbteam.com. Hit me up. Let me know whatever you need. I'm always here to answer questions. I'm taking calls all day long, every day, with people asking these types of questions. So I'm here to help when you're ready. That's what Agent B does. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.